Hi, everyone. My name is Maha Melhem. I look after the product function in Vezeeta, and I'm here to summarize the past 5 years of Vezeeta's life in the next 5 minutes. So I'll go straight to the point, trying to do that. So if we look at all of us sitting in this room, so we're all consumers. And when we are consumers, we are empowered to interact within the systems around us. The minute we stand in front of the first healthcare provider, we move from being consumers to being patients. Once we are patients, or we're categorized as patients, our interaction with the systems around us would change. So if you look at the left-hand side, so if I would want to book, for example, or if I want to interact with the systems around me, if I want to buy something, if I want to book a restaurant or anything within the consumer business, as a consumer, I'm empowered to know and expect how my interaction would be. The minute I move to being a patient, my knowledge of the systems I would interact with becomes so limited. So I'll just give you an example. So imagine that I have a headache and I was vomiting. So what am I supposed to do now? Shall I call a friend? Shall I call a family member to ask what to do, which specialty I would need to visit? Am I going to go to the ER and wait for so many hours to be seen? Would my symptoms get me to see a neurologist or an internal medicine or a GP? I really don't know how to interact with the system around me. So if I would know about a doctor, do I know before going and seeing that doctor that this doctor is covered by my insurance plan? Do I know that that doctor would get me to wait 5 minutes or would get me to wait 2 hours before I'm able to see that doctor? So as a patient, my knowledge and expectations before I interact with any system is very limited. So that's being said, if I would give you just an idea about the Middle East market, 62% of the patients in the Middle East do not trust the healthcare system around them, and 85% of those who interacted with the medical system had an unsatisfactory experience with the healthcare system. So within Vezeeta, what we want to do is we want to move the patients from being patients to being back consumers. So we want to empower them with data, and we want to give them the ability to expect, the ability to voice their experience into the system and learn from others. So we're mainly, if you look at what we do, we're mainly a platform that puts the patient in the center. So we serve patients, and we want to empower patients to do their medical transactions across the whole healthcare system. So whether this would be booking an appointment with a doctor, booking a lab and scan, knowing which insurance covers my plan, and so on and so forth. So just to give you an idea about, and of course, the way we do that is by providing enough data for the patients to be able to decide and expect what to do. And parallel to that, we allow patients to voice their own experience. So after I've done my transaction, if I was happy, I would like everyone to know that this doctor, for example, is very easy to talk to. If I'm an emotional person, I would be able to select a doctor who can talk to me more than scientific data. So I would be able to find everything I need before going and seeing the healthcare provider. So if you look at the opportunity that Vezeeta has within the Middle East, the digital healthcare market size is around $37 billion. And in the Middle East, it takes only $0.8 billion out of that market. So Vezeeta is not only leading to grow within the Middle East market, but it also has the opportunity to grow the Middle East market and take a better chunk of the total global market. So if you look in comparison, the digital healthcare market size in the Middle East represents around 2.1% versus the pharma market, which is still in the medical field. The Middle East represents around 4.7%. So this is why with Vezeeta, we're aiming to stretch the market and grow within the market as well. So how did we get all those patients to pour into our platform? When we started Vezeeta, we decided that, or we thought from a consumer or from a patient point of view, what I want within the healthcare system is affordability. So that's all what I look for. And when we launched the ability for patients to book based on affordability, it didn't work. So we didn't get patients to book with us properly. And then we thought, okay, so it's mainly maybe affordability and location. So I want a healthcare provider that is near me, and I would want to see that healthcare provider. So we did that. It was okay, but it wasn't really what the patients were looking for. And then we introduced a new feature called ratings and reviews. So you can now voice your experience into the system so that others can learn from it, so that you can choose a doctor. So it started working better, but they didn't just want to choose a doctor. What the patient actually wanted is to get better medical outcomes. So the minute we changed our system to voice the medical outcome the patients go through once they book through Vezeeta, it's only then when we started seeing that more and more patients are coming in. So it's mainly, for all of us, it's mainly about medical outcome. And what we are doing in Vezeeta is we want to improve the medical outcome through giving power to the patients. If I give you just an idea about our size, so we started with the booking platform in 2015. We were at about 0.8 million bookings a year. Last year, in 2018, we reached over 1 million bookings. We have, as of March today, around 4 million bookings done through our platform. We have 2.3 million patients whom we helped decide on the right doctor for them and choose a transaction with the healthcare system. And we have more than 10,000 active doctors on our platforms with open slots for patients to book, or healthcare providers in general. So within Vezeeta, we are, for the growth, we are looking at growing horizontally as well as vertically. Horizontally, we're in 4 markets. We started in 2012 in Egypt, grew into 2017 into Jordan and Lebanon, and 2018 in Saudi. We're eyeing now UAE as a consolidated market and Nigeria as a scattered market. We look at the vertical growth as well. So we want to grow the product to be more empowered, to empower patients with decision making. And mainly the ask that I have is I want to partner with investors for our next round to empower patients to make the right decisions when they choose a healthcare provider or a healthcare transaction through data mainly. So that's my presentation.